what are the limits of ChatGPT? Because everyone's like, AI is going to replace all of our jobs. And personally, as an attorney, I don't know how you feel, babe, but personally, as an attorney, I don't see ChatGPT or Claude coming for my job. I think it can help me be more efficient at certain things or certain drafting things. But end of the day, the law is the law. And as trained attorneys, someone who has gone through 4 years of undergrad, 3 years of law school, multitudes of internships while I was in law school or clerkships. I've got a decade plus of experience personally. You've got 15 years. I'm like, nothing replaces actual knowledge of the law and classical law training and classical training to pass the bar exam. I feel like with ChatGPT and AI, as they're feeding off of information, like it's input versus output, when I heard she failed the bar exam, my first thought was the same as yours. I was like, why did she use ChatGPT? I mean, Google would have been better at least. Why not use a traditional bar course that we all had to use? Shout out Barbary. There's so many bar courses, and it's just a little scary how many people are relying on, AI for their legal advice or to study.
And absolutely, I think AI can be helpful to the practice of law, and it's very good for certain things. What I think it's terrible at is drafting at least at this point, any sort of final product that you can, as a lawyer, rely on without double checking to make sure it's accurate. And there's been now all over, mostly in the United States, but at least one case in England where various lawyers all across the country have been caught, turning in motions and briefs to court written by ChatGPT or some other AI that have fictitious cases in there. And, obviously judges punished them and reprimanded them, and rightfully so, because their logic is, as attorneys, we're always responsible for double checking what we turn in and file. If it's a made up case, as AI tends to do, if the judge doesn't catch it, then that made up case that never happened becomes part of legal precedent. So you've got fake cases making their way potentially into real law. And my understanding, I'm not a AI expert by any means, but one of the, I guess, leading theories currently from what I'm reading as to why AI does hallucinations and makes up answers, because in the way that they are training AI and developing these systems, instructions they give AI prioritize being right above everything else. One of the things that AI currently is very bad at is saying, I don't know, something that, humans are generally better at. So a lot of times
AI
AI
is almost
doesn't know.
programmed to its input output. If you ask it a question, it needs to respond. I am not a software or tech, expert, but that's when I use AI, that's my understanding. It never rarely goes, sorry, I don't know. Generally it's like, I don't know, but this, or most of the time it's like, oh, you gave me this, I'm going to give you this in return. Right. And I think it gets dangerous because even I think traditional search engine sites, like let's say Google or Bing, if it doesn't have an answer for your response, you'll come up with a whole lot of nothing, right? Like it's not making up things. It's not giving you like information. It's either there's something responsive to your question that you're asking or your research topic, or there isn't. And that's what's so dangerous about, I think, AI, especially in the legal field, right? Using fake cases, if you're giving you false information as to what a legal standard would be. And so I don't think there's anything that will actually replace actual lawyers with legal knowledge. I think it's a tool that lawyers can use, in terms of like giving a quick template for a contract. But, ultimately it's on us to do the double check or the triple check. Like, is this actually going to hold in terms of, let's say, a viable contract or a viable drafting agreement, whatever we're dealing with, or is this just a load of rubbish, toss into the bin,